In the hush of the ordinary, where no applause follows and no spotlight shines, love is most itself. The world often trains our eyes on grandeur, heroic feats, public declarations, sweeping gestures. But divine love, what the early Christians called caritas or agape, moves most powerfully in the quiet, in the uncelebrated, in the simple act of staying, giving, and forgiving. Agape is not a love of emotion alone, but of will, of intention, of choice. It is the love that stoops to wash feet, that multiplies loaves with thanksgiving, that shares a cup of water with the least of these. It is the decision to hold your tongue when speaking would wound, to rise early and pray for those who do not even know they are carried in your heart. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that love is the fundamental and innate vocation of every human being, CCC 2392. We are not merely called to love, we are created for it. But not all love is equal. Agape love transcends affection, attraction, and friendship. It is the love poured out from the cross, the love that endures betrayal, that seeks the good of the other regardless of cost. It is cruciform, shaped like sacrifice. Consider the mother who wakes in the night to check her child's breathing, not once, but a dozen times. The teacher who listens patiently to a troubled student, even after a long day. The elderly man who blesses the stranger that cuts in front of him at the store. None of these acts will trend, none will be reposted, but in heaven's economy, they glitter with eternal value. Saint Teresa of Lisieux understood this mystery well. She called it the little way, loving in small acts done with great devotion. Not all of us can do great things, said Mother Teresa, but we can do small things with great love. In agape, the greatness is not in the act, but in the intention and the spirit behind it. This is what makes agape revolutionary. It sanctifies the mundane. It makes a meal sacred, a smile redemptive, a kind word a lifeline. Agape refuses to measure love by return. It does not count. It does not compare. It gives because it sees the beloved not through the lens of utility, but through the eyes of God. To love this way is not natural. It is supernatural. Jesus gave us the blueprint. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love. John chapter 15 verse 9. And how did the Father love him? With eternal self-giving, with communion that holds nothing back. To abide in this love is to live from it, to let it be the wellspring of all we do. This love changes families. It renews friendships. It softens hardened hearts and brings unity where division reigned. It is the love that stops cycles of violence and passes down peace. It is the love that raises spiritual orphans into sons and daughters. But how does one begin? Not with fanfare, not with strategy, with presence, with one choice. To forgive when resentment feels justified, to bring soup to a sick neighbor, to not interrupt, to write a letter to someone who has no one, to hold your temper in a moment of frustration, to bless those who persecute you. These are not small things. These are seismic. Love like this builds a different world. Psychologists often speak of micro behaviors, small habits that over time form emotional climates. Agape creates an atmosphere where others can breathe deeply. It removes the oxygen from toxic patterns. It rewires not just our reactions, but our identity. We become more generous, more patient, more free. The saints lived this. St. Maximilian Kolbe gave his life for a stranger. Yes, but before that, he gave years of faithful attention to ordinary tasks. St. Gianna Molla sacrificed her life for her unborn child, but not before she chose love in her daily practice as a doctor, wife, and mother. These great choices were only possible because of countless small ones. Even our speech carries this power. The book of Proverbs says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath." Proverbs chapter 15 verse 1. Words are seeds. When sown in agape, they do not merely correct or comfort, they create. They create dignity where there was shame, courage where there was despair, faith where there was fear. There is a tendency in the modern world to believe that only what is visible counts. Metrics, likes, results. But the kingdom of God grows like yeast, like mustard seed, unseen, steady, sure. Agape is hidden leaven. It is what holds the universe together. And it starts in your kitchen, in your commute, at your desk. It is the decision to leave the last piece for someone else. To not respond in kind to a sarcastic remark. To listen to the story you've heard 10 times before because it matters to the one telling it. It is saying, "I'm sorry," even when the other person won't. It is bringing flowers to someone grieving. It is taking the trash out without being asked. It is volunteering when you'd rather rest. It is texting someone just to remind them they are loved. Agape requires no applause. It shines in silence. In sociology, systems of change often follow tipping points, moments when accumulated small decisions reach a critical mass and spark transformation. The same is true in the soul. Each small act of love is a brushstroke in a masterpiece only God sees in full. Each yes to love is a candle lit in a dark world. This is why St. Paul exhorted us, "Do not grow weary of doing good," Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. Because love, especially when unseen, can feel futile. It can feel like our effort doesn't matter. But nothing could be further from the truth. Every time you love without reward, you echo Calvary. And in doing so, you become a living tabernacle. Hospitality, too, becomes a channel of agape. The Benedictine tradition teaches us to welcome every guest as Christ. That means the difficult family member, the loud child, the aging neighbor, the newcomer who doesn't speak your language. Hospitality is not about entertaining. It is about receiving, seeing Christ in the other, making space. This is what Mary did when she said yes to the angel. This is what Joseph did when he took Mary and Jesus in under threat. This is what the Good Samaritan did when he saw the wounded man. Agape makes room, and the more room you make, the more your heart expands. The more you give, the more you receive. Not because others always return the favor, but because grace multiplies. This love is not passive. It is not weak. It is the strongest force in the universe. It was agape that drove martyrs to sing in flames. It was agape that compelled missionaries to cross oceans. It was agape that made Christ hang on the cross and say, "Father, forgive them." And it is agape that enables us to forgive, to keep going, to keep giving. The world does not need more spectacle. It needs more selfless presence, more love in the trenches, more kindness in the comment section, more mercy in marriages, more patience in parenting, more generosity in the mundane. And you can be that. You already are. Every time you choose the better way, when you answer with gentleness, when you offer without return, when you serve quietly, you cooperate with grace. You bring heaven closer. Agape is not far off. It is in you. It is God in you. You may never see the full fruit of your kindness, but nothing sown in love is ever lost. The seed may fall to the ground, but in time it will bear a harvest of peace. As St. John of the Cross said, "In the evening of life, we will be judged on love alone." So love boldly, love quietly, love anyway, because in the end, it is not the grand gestures but the small ones done with great love that will be the jewels in your crown. And they are not small to God. They are the very shape of eternity.